I was thinking about my process and where I'm trying to go, and how long I've been working on it, and the process of trying to get where I'm trying to get to, and where some people may not agree of my process or how much traction I'm making or how much money I'm putting into it, how much effort I'm putting into it, and things of that nature. And I don't know. It's hard to get people to understand, what you can see because they're not you. Welcome to the Narrative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, G. You can call me. I'm Gerald Tab, but you can call me G or GT. Thank you for listening. Leave a comment, subscribe, follow if you like what you're hearing, or you can tell me you want to hear something else or whatever. Thank you for listening. Trying to get other people to see what you see. It's like you're driving in a car and you're trying to get the passenger can see your path, but they can't see your plans. They can't see that, the obstacles or the way that you'll handle them, or when it gets rough, the way that you'll continue forward, or how long you'll stay in the driver's seat. Because I think giving up is a natural thing. I think everybody's trying to get somewhere. And for a small majority, they're not really getting anywhere. And it's speaking from my own experience. It's hard to keep going and to keep putting. It's hard to keep investing into something that has no return, or has an emotional return. And what I mean by that is I have I've the podcast here, obviously, but it's not making any money, but it has an emotional return because getting my thoughts and the way I feel about things into the universe, whether I get a response or not, it's rewarding for me to get that out. And it's therapy for me to get that out. And as far as my process is concerned, and that's one of my processes, I want to include that. Podcasting is part of my growth process. It's part of, me reaching the end of that tunnel the end of my tunnel I'll never reach. I understand that. But the reason that I set up my growth that way is so that I will always keep reaching for the end of that tunnel that I know I'll never reach. Because if I put it in a spot that I know I can get to, then once I get to it, I'll stop reaching. But if I put it in a place where I'm pretty likely not to get to, then I definitely will keep trying. And I won't make it to that point, but I'll get a lot further than I would have gotten if I hadn't have set that point so far away. And it's when you tell people where you're going, which is not a good idea. It's not good for anybody else to know your plans because they're your plans. Some people can't understand them. I've been in places where I couldn't understand other people's dreams. And some people I've met, they couldn't understand my dreams. And I get where they're coming from, but it's, I don't know, for me, it's not really discouraging because I'm so hell-bound on getting to where I'm trying to get to. I'm not going to let somebody who doesn't believe in it or can't see what I see, I'm not going to let them derail my process. Those people, I just let people just, that's all I can do is let them go through the stage that they're going through while I continue to move forward in my stage. Because that's really all that you can do is understand that they're in a different place in life. That, if you've done the work on yourself, then you can see the place that they're at and understand that you've been there and keep moving forward and not let it bother you because one thing about me is growth is the most important thing in my process. And I'm somewhat, I can relate to the situation with Chris Rock because it was all, to me, that situation was all about growth. And that was really about growth because it was like, situation that happened on national TV and it was definitely a difficult situation. And, both of them, I want to say first and foremost, both of them, it's like two friends. I don't know either one of them, but it's like, you two friends getting into it and you, the third friend, and you're like, you don't take sides, you just kind of step back and kind of keep everything, you kind of keep everything to yourself. But I've had similar situations to that, but only that one was on national TV, and it takes a lot of guts, and you definitely have to understand where you're trying to go and what you want to represent, because not a lot of people can understand that. Even people, with money cannot really understand that because their first instinct is to, oh, this happened, so we're gonna slug it out, or whatever. But unfortunately, and this is a tough one to really say, if you're the person on the negative side of the whole thing, you have to be strong enough to ignore what people want you to do. And, it's really a definition of keeping your eyes on the prize. And one thing that I've thought about that whole situation, which I've always known, is I always focus on the people who can help me move forward. And I focus on their opinion. I don't focus on other people's opinion because, the people who are laughing and say, oh, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. Those are the people that me personally, I wouldn't listen to. The ones that say, hey, are you good, man? You whatever. Those are the people that I would listen to because those people aren't impressed. That was the word I was looking for. The ones that aren't impressed by, the whole situation. Those are the people I appreciate. The ones that were, kind of rooting it on. I would have did this. I would have, man, I wouldn't have let this happen. Yada yada yada. I don't ride with them only because I take the opinion of people that can help me move forward or keep me in the position that I'm in. I don't know. I'm not saying that the people who didn't, that they're wrong. I'm just saying that for me, it's I take little tidbits of information from people that can help me move forward, and people that can't, I don't really take advice from. And that's my opinion. It could be wrong. I'm not saying that I know everything because that's not my intent. But thank you for tuning into the Narrative Mindset Podcast. I'm Gerald Tabb. You can call me G. Leave a message or a comment. Either one, they're both the same thing. Subscribe, follow, help this podcast grow, and thank you so much for listening.